Did you know that thunder can actually heat the air to temperatures hotter than the sun's surface? It's a mind-boggling fact, isn't it? A typical bolt of lightning, in its fierce and fleeting existence, reaches scorching temperatures around 30,000 degrees Celsius. Now, if we compare this with our sun, which is the very epitome of heat and light, its surface temperature only measures about 5,500 degrees Celsius. That's right. Lightning, in its momentary flash, outshines the sun, at least in terms of temperature. But don't worry, this doesn't mean we're at risk of getting scorched by lightning-heated air. This superheated air doesn't stay that way for long. It cools almost instantly, returning to normal atmospheric temperatures. So, while it's a fascinating phenomenon, it's also a fleeting one. So, in a flash, lightning can make things hotter than the sun. Here's a mind-blowing fact. Your brain uses about 20% of your body's total energy consumption at rest. Now let's ponder on this for a moment. In the grand scheme of things, the brain is a relatively small organ, weighing in at around 3 pounds, which is only about 2% of an average adult's body weight. Yet it's a power-hungry machine, consuming energy at a rate 10 times higher than its weight would suggest. Why such a high demand, you ask? Well, the brain is a relentless workhorse. Even when you're resting, it's busy processing information, coordinating complex functions, and keeping your body running smoothly. Whether it's controlling your heartbeat, decoding the words you're hearing right now, or recalling the name of your first pet, your brain is constantly at work. So let's give it up for our brains, the unsung heroes, tirelessly powering through day in and day out. That's quite a power demand for a 3-pound organ, isn't it? Some elements can melt right in your hand, despite being solid at room temperature. Take gallium, for instance. This intriguing element has a very low melting point of around 29.76 degrees Celsius, or 85.57 degrees Fahrenheit to be precise. Now, that's just a bit higher than your average body temperature. So what happens when you hold a gallium nugget in your hand? Given a little time, the heat from your body warms the gallium, causing it to transition from a solid state to a liquid one. It's a fascinating spectacle, watching a seemingly solid element turn into a pool of silvery liquid right in the palm of your hand. Gallium, with its unique properties, certainly challenges our everyday understanding of solids and liquids. Who knew holding a melting element could be so cool, or rather, warm? In space, no one can hear you scream, or anything else for that matter. How is this possible, you may wonder? Well, let's dive into the science behind it. Sound, as we know it, is the vibration of molecules in a medium such as air, water, or solids. These vibrations travel as sound waves, reaching our ears and allowing us to perceive the myriad of sounds that fill our world. But here's the catch. Space is a near-perfect vacuum, devoid of any such medium for sound waves to travel through. With no molecules close enough to each other, there's no way for these vibrations to propagate. So that famous movie tagline is scientifically accurate. If you were to shout in the vacuum of space, there would be no sound. It's an eerie thought, isn't it? So, in the void of space, silence truly is golden. Stars are much more than twinkling lights in the night sky. They're quite literally the universe's grand fireballs, burning bright and ceaselessly. At the heart of each star, there's an ongoing fiery dance of nuclear fusion, where hydrogen atoms combine to form helium. This process is incredibly intense and powerful, releasing a tremendous amount of energy in the form of light and heat. As a result, stars shine and twinkle, casting their light across the vast cosmos. The radiance we see when we gaze up at the night sky is just a tiny fraction of the energy these celestial objects emit. And it's not just light and heat. Stars are also responsible for producing many of the heavier elements found in the universe. So, the next time you find yourself lost in the breathtaking beauty of a starry night, remember this. You're looking at colossal burning balls of gas, illuminating the universe with their brilliance. Next time you look up at the night sky, remember, you're actually seeing giant burning balls of gas. Ever feel like the world is spinning too fast? Well, it actually is. The Earth is quite the speedster, spinning at a whopping 1,600 kilometers per hour at the equator. That's faster than a hummingbird flaps its wings. This dizzying speed isn't just for show, though. It plays a key role in shaping our planet. Our Earth isn't a perfect sphere, but rather an oblate spheroid, a shape that's slightly squashed at the poles and slightly bulging at the equator. And we have Earth's speedy spin to thank for this unique shape. As the Earth spins, it creates a centrifugal force that pushes outwards at the equator, causing this bulge. At the poles, where this force is minimal, the Earth is flattened. So the next time you feel dizzy, remember, it might just be the Earth's spin. Here's an astronomical fact for you. We often gaze at the night sky, spellbound by the sheer number of stars twinkling above us. But have you ever wondered how many stars there actually are in the universe? Well, prepare to have your mind blown. There are more stars in the universe than there are grains of sand on all the beaches on Earth. Yes, you heard that right. Just think about it. Each grain of sand representing a single star scattered across countless beaches around the world. And yet, the stars in the cosmos outnumber them all. It's estimated that there are trillions of stars in our Milky Way galaxy alone. And the Milky Way is just one of billions of galaxies in the observable universe. Such a fact is almost beyond human comprehension, isn't it? It certainly puts things into a humbling perspective. So, the universe is truly star-studded. Honey, the sweet treat that never goes bad. This nectar of nature, this golden elixir, has a secret superpower. Its longevity is legendary, and it's all thanks to its natural antibacterial properties. You see, honey is a hostile environment for microbes. It's low in moisture and acidic, creating inhospitable conditions for bacteria and fungi. But the real hero of the story is an enzyme bees add to the nectar. This enzyme generates hydrogen peroxide, a well-known disinfectant, which gives honey its antibacterial punch. This is why honey, when sealed in an airtight jar, can remain edible for centuries, even millennia. Archaeologists have uncovered pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are over 3,000 years old, still perfectly good to eat. So, when you drizzle honey onto your morning toast or stir it into your tea, remember, you're not just savoring sweetness, you're partaking in a timeless tradition. So honey is not just sweet, it's also forever. Our bodies are constantly changing, right down to our atoms. It's a fascinating process of renewal that keeps us healthy and functional. Let's take a closer look. Every minute, we shed about 30,000 dead skin cells off the surface of our skin. But don't worry, our bodies are already busy producing new ones to take their place. This cycle of shedding and renewal means that we get a brand new skin roughly every month. And it's not just our skin that's getting a refresh. Our stomach lining, constantly exposed to harsh digestive acids, renews itself about every 5 days. That's like getting a new stomach every week. Even our bones, which seem so solid and unchanging, are part of this cycle. Our skeletons are entirely replaced every 10 years or so, thanks to the hard work of cells called osteoclasts and osteoblasts. So we are literally not the same person we were a few years ago. Silence is golden, especially in the world's quietest room. Tucked away at Microsoft's headquarters in Washington, a unique space exists that is unlike any other. This space is an anechoic chamber, a room designed to absorb almost all sound reflections. Imagine being in a place where the ambient noise level is a staggering -9 decibels, a level that is almost silent to the human ear. This room is so quiet, it can even make the impossible possible. You can hear your own heartbeat. In this room, the silence isn't just golden, it's scientifically fascinating. But it's not just about silence, it's about the technology that makes this silence possible. The room's walls are lined with sound-absorbing wedges, creating a space where sound has nowhere to bounce. It's a technological marvel and a testament to the power of quietude. So, if you're ever in need of some peace and quiet, you know where to go. So there you have it. 10 random facts for the day. Let's take a moment to recap. We've learned that the power of thunder is so intense, it can briefly heat the air to temperatures hotter than the sun's surface. That's around 30,000 degrees Celsius, compared to the sun's surface temperature of only about 5,500 degrees Celsius. And speaking of power, we also discovered that our brains, despite weighing only about 3 pounds, use up approximately 20% of our body's total energy at rest. Talk about brain power. We explored the fascinating world of elements, discovering that some, like gallium, can actually melt in your hand due to their very low melting points. We traveled to the vacuum of space where we learned that sound cannot exist. Without a medium such as air, water, or solids, sound waves simply cannot propagate. Our journey into the cosmos didn't stop there. We also learned that stars are enormous spheres of burning gas, with nuclear fusion at their cores releasing tremendous energy. Back on Earth, we found out that our planet spins at a speed of more than 1,600 kilometers per hour at the equator. We stayed starstruck, learning that there are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on all the Earth's beaches. That's trillions of stars in our Milky Way galaxy alone. We also discovered that honey never spoils due to its natural antibacterial properties. In fact, archaeologists have found edible honey in ancient Egyptian tombs. On the topic of renewal, we learned that our body is constantly regenerating itself. From our skin cells to our bones, most of the atoms in our bodies will be replaced over the course of a few years. And finally, we ventured into the world's quietest room at Microsoft's headquarters in Washington. This anechoic chamber absorbs almost all sound reflections, creating an almost silent environment. Remember, you learn something new every day. Stay curious, and we'll see you next time with more fascinating facts.